All right, we're live. We already have a chat. Hello, Michael. How's it going? Michael from Hawaii is back in the chat. Welcome back. All right, here's the deal, guys. I'm going to be coming and going a little bit. There's a time-sensitive video that I'm working on editing right now.
Don't lie to them. It's your birthday and you're trying to go celebrate.
It is my birthday tomorrow. Nothing would make me happier. If you want to send me a birthday well wish, don't send me a battery question instead, because I want to answer battery questions on my birthday.
Don't lie. You just want to celebrate your birthday.
Well, I'll give you guys a P.O. box if you guys want to send me drinks. If anybody in the chat can guess exactly how old I'm turning tomorrow, I'll consider that when we're giving you your special deal of the day. So, we're streaming to you live from BatterEVO. You guys know the deal. My name's Nick. This is Brian. We're here in Los Angeles. We're from the marketing department, where we're based, and we're here to answer your questions. So anything you want to know about batteries, we're your guys. And anything you want to know about BatterEVO, still your guys. So, ask away. We'll answer anything. I see... No way you guessed I'm 37. Oh, that hurts. Okay, well that's not correct.
That just hurts. That just... Oh my god, the energy in the room has changed.
But yeah, we'll answer your questions, and while we're streaming, only while we're live streaming, we're allowed to give out the discount, exclusive live stream discount to all viewers. So if you want to get a product, Walrus, Rhino, anything else BatterEVO, we'll give you an exclusive discount that's only available while we're live. It's lower than the sales you see on our website. 6'2". Wrong, but that's even for height, that's still wrong. Okay, so get your deal. Sorry, I've been thrown off. Get your deals, text us in. And yeah, I'm not turning 37 tomorrow. Prominence Perspective Media wants to know when the G4 will ship. So we have our batch of G4s ready to go. I actually just posted about it yesterday. Those units will be shipping out by the end of the month. So if you ordered when they were on back order, then you will be getting your unit at the end of this month or early June, depending on your area.
For G3 G4s?
Yeah, for G4.
No, they should. If they ordered in the back order, they should be getting them in like 1 to 2 weeks.
Oh, that's even
yeah, because
better.
we got a batch that came in.
Okay.
So we have a batch that came in that landed. They have to fulfill them, right? Like bring them into the warehouse or whatever.
I saw them
do
putting
what they
got to
do with them, right? They got to test them. They got to do everything right, and then they're gonna start shipping out. So they're shipping out today, tomorrow, Monday. They're gonna start shipping out. So if you got one on back order, you should be getting one. We have some in stock right now if you want one, but that lot is almost sold out too.
Yeah.
So
they're going fast.
If you guys are gonna wait 3 weeks and then tell me why you can't get them in stock, it's because we're letting you know now. They will probably be out of stock again.
Prominence says yay. I appreciate that enthusiasm, and I share it. I'm keeping an eye out, guys. I want to see more battery questions. Let us know what you want to know, and I will let you know what I know.
Also, guess Nick's age.
Guess my age. Guess my age. Nobody's got it yet. Mike says that I got to be at least 20, which that is true.
At least,
At least 20. No, I'm not. I am not under 20 years old, but I'm not over 30 years old. So, well, that's the range that you guys can work within. I'm narrowing it down for you a little bit.
At least, yeah.
Michael says, Brian, I tried to order the Walrus 3 today, been trying to find out if shipping can happen when you ship to the Oahu project.
Oh, okay, so he wants to figure out, like, if we can ship to him, because the Wahoo project is the one you're doing with the Komodo, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so he's trying to figure out, like, can we ship when when we get our stuff to Oahu,
I don't
right?
think
but
that's
the thing is like no, right? Because it's like we got to ship. The way it works is that we're gonna ship the unit to a carrier, like a Hawaiian carrier, and then and then you got to get your own shipment to get it from the port to Hawaii.
I mean, if he sets up his own shipment to get it from the port to Hawaii, to his
Location.
like once we're there, if we touch down in Oahu, we're bringing the Komodo already, and we happen to have a walrus in the crate, and then he just arranges to like have somebody ship to him. I mean, I think that's should be doable. I would say like maybe we put him in contact with Fred and logistics and see how it would work. The only thing is that project is still in development, and so like the timeline on it could still change a little bit. We don't have the exact date nailed down yet, but I understand the frustration and difficulty of getting shipping to your home in Hawaii. So if it's cheaper and like more convenient for Michael to do it that way, and we can.
Are you taking a G3 with you? You probably won't even take a G3 with you.
No, but we could just, if he
Just
buys
bring
it,
one?
why not just throw it in the crate with it?
I think it has to do with like how the carriers insure the product.
See,
That's
I
more.
don't know about that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It's like more of a fulfillment thing. It's not that I don't want it. Send it to him
We
that
should
way.
put him in touch directly with Fred.
Yeah,
so
Michael.
they
The
can
best
figure
thing
it
to do
out.
is probably call. Because I do remember texting you. I think the best thing to do, because he also wants to put a deposit. So I told him to call the number on the website.
Yeah, if we're gonna work out a custom deal like this, I would say you want to talk to Fred. I would call in,
it's a
ask for
fulfillment
Fred.
Let me see. I'll put the phone that they can call here. You should call in and try to get this sorted, but I don't think that they'll do it the way Michael's describing, where he wants us to like take it with us when we go to Oahu, because that's not really the objective of that trip. And then two, I think it's a insurance thing with like shipping stuff back and forth. If he gets his own carrier, then the Hawaiian carrier is now insuring the product that it'll arrive to him.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes with us, we're gonna just be doing a rogue production with another team, right? There's no guarantee that it's not gonna get beat up or that it's the right unit. So if he does it the traditional way, we know that the unit has been fully tested, properly wrapped, properly put on a pallet, and properly sent to him.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, I'd say Fred's your guy. I'm not gonna say that it's impossible. I think it could potentially still be worked out, but
yeah. But you need fulfillment team to help you with this, because it's a fulfillment issue. It's not like if me and Nick could throw it on a pickup truck and get it to you, we would. But it's not. We can't.
I'm gonna put it on my back and swim.
Yeah.
Your age is 28. That's a very, very good guess.
Prominence Perspective Media. What do you do? Are you a cinematographer? Let me know right now, because we have a deal.
Oh yeah, we do. I'm gonna keep mum on the age for now. I want to see some more guesses come in before I confirm or deny. But 28 is a good guess. A good one.
Maybe, guessing your age wouldn't be too hard once there's a few amount of followers in here. So maybe you should be like,
House flipper.
I thought maybe based on media, there maybe like in the production space. House flipping's cool. Prominence. If you're flipping houses, does the solar and the battery packs somehow can be beneficial to you somehow as a house flipper? Like, what if you were flipping houses and they already had off-grid units installed in them? I wonder. Also, if anybody's jumping in here, let us know how much you're paying in electricity. Let us know how much you pay in electricity every month. And then we're going to basically do a breakdown of the prices of our product compared to what people are spending on electricity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It always helps, for those of you who are new to the green energy life, or you're at the beginning of your off-grid journey, the best information we could have to help you make decisions is where you're located, because different states have different incentive programs, and about square footage of your home, what kind of appliances you want off-grid. If you want all of them, if you want select, if you just want outage protection. It's good to know all those things. We can come up with a good plan for you. For the most part, with the average homeowner, the best product that you could get for value and ease of setup is the Walrus with the solar panel kit. It's a plug-and-play machine, so easy to get installed. An electrician can get the sub panel like in like an hour, and you slap those panels on the roof. They're exactly rated for the G3 efficiently, and take that whole house off grid. In the meantime, I'm giving my spiel again. I'm Nick. This is Brian. We're streaming to you live from Battery Evo in Los Angeles, California. We're here to answer all your questions and give out those exclusive live stream discounts. So while we're streaming, only while we're streaming, we're probably going to be doing this for 2 hours, and then we'll stop. During those 2 hours, it's a flash sale. We can give you the live stream discount if you are a viewer. Only if you're a viewer. You got to text us in. It's 747-282-0538. That's the number on the bottom of your screen. Brian and I will get the text right here in this room, and we'll send you a custom quote lower than any sales price you see on our website. It's a secret way to get the best deal on a Battery Evo product. And it's my birthday tomorrow. If anybody can guess exactly what my age is going to be tomorrow morning when I wake up, you will have guessed it correctly. And I'll factor that in when we're giving you a special deal. Maybe you'll get a little extra bump off.
Yeah, I think it's right here. This was his thread.
Oh, cool.
For the Oahu.
For Oahu. All right. Michael says, the shipping to Hawaii is only done with 2 companies, Pasha and Matson. Text is really small, so I don't know if I mispronounced that. Nobody else is allowed by law to carry product to Hawaii. For them to carry it, they need information about you. That's, gosh, it's going to be tough.
We've shipped it to Hawaii before. You should just definitely call in, Michael. Call in the number I gave, and the fulfillment team's going to tell you exactly what to do. They've shipped them over there. They shipped them to Alaska. They shipped them to the Caribbean. They shipped them to Puerto Rico already, but it's the way that I'm describing. We got to get them to a carrier, and then the carrier will take it from there.
Keep the questions coming, guys. I'm going to have to step out for a moment. I got a time-sensitive video that you will be seeing probably this afternoon if you watch our stuff. So I'll be back. Brian's going to hold it down. If anybody guesses my age correctly, I'm sure that I'll hear yells and screams over here, and I'll come back.
Who here screams? Okay. Electric bill is $130 a month, okay? So, no, just on my personal house. Okay, Prominence, are you looking to get a battery pack, Prominence? If so, look, Prominence is spending $130 a month now. The solar kit, the G4 solar kit right now is, before the white YouTube live pricing, it's $7,409. That's for the G4 with the solar accessories kit. Oh wait, actually, sorry, no, incorrect. Where is it? Okay, so the Walrus G4 with solar, that's the 23 kilowatt hour battery pack, 15 kVA inverter, and then 4.4 kilowatts of solar. It retails right now at $8,209. If anybody wants this kit, text us right now at the number below, and we'll get you some YouTube live pricing. But this unit is $8,209. You could go fully off grid with this unit. If I pull up a calculator, spending $109, spending $130. You're spending about $1,500 a month on $1,500 a year on electricity. So if you went fully off grid, you could probably do it with the G3. The G3 would be a little bit less expensive, but you could go off grid with the G4 plus solar, and you could basically try to eliminate that entire bill, and then over time you start to see your savings where you wouldn't have the electric bill and you'd be powering your entire house, and you could be storing energy for power emergencies, versus just continuously paying the grid, because regardless with the grid you're going to pay for it forever, and then the price of it will only increase. The price of battery backups will increase, the price of solar panels will increase. So over time, the more we wait to set up our utility reduction strategy, the more costly it will become over time. So not only are you spending more money every month for the electricity you're already using, but the amount of electricity you use will probably go up. Then the price of that electricity will also go up. The tax on that electricity will go up. And then if at that point in time you decide you want to get a battery backup with solar, I'm pretty sure the prices of those products will have gone up. So the idea here is how do we help you go fully off grid at the lowest price possible? When we look at the pricing, sometimes the sticker price might feel a little high, but if you just consider how much those grid-tied solar installs cost, we're easily less than half. The BatterEVO kits are easily less than half, and on top of that, once you have a off-grid solar kit, you have your own energy. You basically become like your own power plant. So you'll be storing your own energy. You'll be packing it into that battery pack. You can use it to power your home. If you have an EV, you could offload the EV, right? Especially for some of you guys who have EVs, electric boilers, water heaters, and those large AC systems. Like, you're probably using up a ton of energy. And although you might not feel like it's that expensive right now, the price of it will increase. The price of it will increase. Especially think about EVs, like they're gonna make bigger battery packs for EVs. So if you're gonna be fully charging EVs at your home, like the long range Teslas, the battery packs are much larger. So you will be using more electricity to power them. And if at any point you don't have any power, you can't power your necessity items, right? Yeah, if the power goes out and you have a gas car, you can still use the gas in the car. But in an electric vehicle, there's no power, you can't charge it. If you have an off-grid system, you can always charge. I live on the Gulf Coast, so we lose power when hurricanes come. Okay, cool. So the Gulf Coast, what state are you in? Gulf Coast would be what, like Texas, Andy? The Gulf Coast? Someone's asking the Gulf Coast. He said, how did you know I own a Tesla? Usually based on the pricing that you're spending on electricity, you could kind of give or take. Like if someone calls in and says that they're using about 40 kilowatt hours daily, I could assume that they have an electric vehicle. Topping off those electric vehicles, it's probably what's causing the electricity bill to increase in your home, because most other appliances in the home don't draw out too much power. So if some of you guys are talking to some solar grid tied installers, they're gonna try to tell you to get these like 36 panel systems for your home. But you would realize that when you're powering the stuff in your home, you're not using up as much power as you think, right? A couple of lights is a few watts. A TV is a few watts, right? You could turn on all the lights in your home and the TV and you probably wouldn't even exceed like more than 1,500 watts. You'd probably only be using about 800 total, especially if you have LED lights. So where it starts to become expensive is when you have a ton of electricity that you're not offloading. So maybe you have devices that are plugged in that still draw out energy. Like even though your devices are off, if they're plugged into the house, they're drawing out energy one way or another. Having the grid connected to your home draws energy because it costs energy to move the energy from the grid to your home. Now, if you have electric boiler, electric stove, laundromat, and then those central AC systems, all of those draw out a lot of power, a pretty good amount of power. Freezers, like those commercial freezers, some of you guys, I know you guys live in remote areas, and you guys have like those meat freezers. Those meat freezers will draw out a good amount of power. So if you have stuff like this, then your electricity bill will go pretty high. Some people will call me and say like, well, I only spend about like $150 a month on electricity, and they just don't mind it. They just say, I'm fine. It's like, okay, that's fair. You don't mind the $150 a month price, but what happens when your power cuts out? And then some guys will say, well, I have solar, so I get my rebates. Like, yeah, but what happens when the power cuts out? None of those products work when the power is cut out. And a lot of those grid-tied battery backup systems, if you experience a hurricane and there's no grid, if the battery pack's power runs out and the grid is not connected to it, it won't recharge. Same thing with those grid-tied solar systems. So the solar guys, like the Sunruns and all that, they want to sell you those big solar kits because it's in the utility company's best interest to sell you as many solar panels as possible, because they use the solar panels to suck up all the energy. While you're at home, when you're at work, you're not using up your home's power, but the solar panels are still on. So you're basically collecting the solar, and then the utility company's taking it back and they're storing it. And then at nighttime when you come home, they sell it back to you because now the sun is gone, so your solar panels are not operating. So while you're at work, you could be charging up the battery packs, grid tied or off grid, for the battery packs that we offer, store that energy, and then when you come home later at night, you don't have to use the grid. You could use the stored backup power in the battery bank. So based on the price you told me, Prominence, I could tell like you probably had an EV because it's $130. It seems a little higher depending on the size of your home. In the hurricane season, Nick used to live in Florida where there's hurricanes, and he says that after the initial, so first you could use up the battery pack's power during the hurricane, and then after the hurricane, sometimes the power stays off for a few days, although the sun has came back. So by having an off-grid solar kit, you could you'll have power immediately once the sun comes back up. And then on top of that, if you really, really, really needed to, you can install a gas or diesel generator, connect that to the Walrus, and then if you needed to use gas or diesel to recharge the battery pack, you can. And then in this situation, people will sometimes say, well, if I have a gas or diesel generator, why do I also need a battery pack? It's like, well, you would want them to run in tangent. If you're only using a gas or diesel generator, at some point that fuel will run out. So what is your conservation strategy? How are you going to conserve the fuel that you have for as long as you possibly can? So by pairing it with a battery backup, you could offset the energy being provided from the generator. So you could only charge up the battery pack, run your generator on idle, and then you could then have your home be powered by the battery pack. So that way you're not completely offloading all the energy off of the generator. So now this way your generator will last longer, your battery pack will last longer, and you have more power outage protection for longer time. It says he will be 30. I tried buying using the website, said $4,995. When I did all the paperwork on the website, it was 3 times as much. I don't know if it was because I tried before. Might have been different pricing, Michael. I would suggest if you're texting us, text us in. I have the phone number right here in front of me. So, no, you can't. Okay, so the number I'm providing you, Michael, you got to call that number. That number won't text. That number is a toll line. It's to call in. So the number we provide below is different than your one you'll see on our website because this is our YouTube Live phone. So this goes directly to me here. So if you want YouTube Live pricing, you must text this number below. Now, if you have special technical questions that maybe we don't know how to answer, fulfillment questions, order questions, or just general customer support, you got to call the number that's on the website. You can't text that number. That number won't receive text messages. Now, we can help you over text on this side, but at some point, you got to call over that side. If people were on the website a few weeks ago and now they're seeing the prices changed, text us so we can get you YouTube Live pricing. But we did let people know about a month and a half ago that pricing was going to start to increase, just generally speaking across the board. The price of lithium has gone up. The price of solar panels have gone up. So it's a global market trend. Now, we're still going to be the best price per kilowatt hour across the United States, but I mean, you guys know what's happening. The utility cost is going up, lithium cost is going up, material costs have gone up. So when we say that the YouTube Live pricing is limited in time, we are being truthful about that. So trying to get YouTube Live pricing and then calling back in a week later trying to get that price, it's just most likely not going to happen. That's what the YouTube Live is for. That's why we turn it on. That's why we leave it on for 3 hours. Sometimes we'll let it go on for 5-6 hours so people could text in. If you're not ready to buy yet, you should at least text in. Maybe you could put down a deposit. Maybe you could work out some kind of deal now. And then if need be, we'll work it out later. But if you just call in later and say, well, this was my price before, I can't change the price. It's MSRP. There's MSRP pricing. There's a market suggested retail price for batteries. We are still the lowest in the United States by far. So I really encourage everybody to text in if they want a battery pack. If you just want to ask questions and learn about it, ask it in the YouTube live chat and we could talk about it. Nick is gone. His chair is just an empty vessel now. I guess I can move this out of the way. And then right there behind me we have the Komodo system. So if anybody has a commercial business or a large home that would require a very large battery pack, we can use the Komodo. The Komodo unit can power a home no problem. It's got the strongest inverter that we've created thus far. I think it's 20 kVA on this one, and then 95 kilowatt hour for the battery pack for residential. But you could plug this into a business no problem, a farm, a barn. It should be able to power stronger or more power, what would you call it? More like power heavy appliances. Especially some of those guys in Texas and Arizona. I know you guys have like sometimes 2, 3 to 5 ton ACs. That draws up a ton of power. It's not easy to get an inverter that can handle that kind of thing, and then let alone have a battery pack to sustain that kind of energy for a long enough time. The Komodo unit was designed for that specific situation. So if anybody needs something like this, like a large battery bank, let us know. Let us know in the chat. And then anything that's what we would call a big capacity unit, we can get you a really good deal on. The G4 has a lot of battery capacity. It's at 23 kilowatt hour. But compared to our bigger capacity units, it's on the smallest side. But in compared to battery backups in the market, the G3 and G4 are still the bigger battery packs for the low end price. Whereas our higher end price points, it's a much bigger battery banks. We got Rhino 4 with 40 kilowatt hour, King Kong 2, 62 kilowatt an hour, and then we have Walrus Pacific, which is a King Kong 2 with a G3 inverter, and then we have Pacific Pro, which is an all-in-one Walrus 62 kilowatt hour battery with the, I believe it's the 18 kVA inverter. So there's definitely a variety of different battery packs and inverter options you can choose from now. You just have to let us know what you want to power, and then we'll get you a deal. Right, Andy? How does a G3, G4 compare to a Tesla Powerwall, like battery size? Okay, so the G3, G4 is more than double what the battery of the Tesla Powerwall has. So Tesla Powerwall, I guess I'll just do the 3, Tesla Powerwall 3. Oh, okay, so it's updated now. So the Tesla Powerwall 3 has a storage capacity of 13.5 kilowatt hour. So the G3 is at 22. The G4 is at 23 kilowatt hour. So I'm about double. There's about double the Powerwall. And then it also says here that it can deliver up to 11.5 kilowatts of continuous power. So it's about 12 kW of inverter power. That's around where that's what the G4 is. So the G4 provides the same continuous power as the Tesla Powerwall, but with almost double the battery's capacity. And then it says the Powerwall can scale up to 3 additional units to a total of 40.5 kilowatt hour, whereas the G3 you can parallel up to 8 battery packs. So if you did the G4 with 8 battery packs or multiple units, you can scale the G4 to up to 184 kilowatt hour if you needed to. You could actually get more of this if you combined multiple G4s with multiple different battery packs and solar. You could get a much bigger battery capacity size in the Tesla Powerwall. If I go to price, I don't know, let me see the price. Usually they don't say the price right away. I think those units retail at around $11,000. Yeah, I'd have to get a quote. Has anybody here gotten a quote for a Powerwall recently? Because I don't know what their latest price is. I remember they used to be like $7,500, and I believe now they're about $11,000 if I'm not mistaken, per unit. So you're not gonna find, again, there's just not any battery packs out in the market that are as large as our battery banks. If anybody has an alternative product, a different brand like an EcoFlow, a Blue Eddy, a Jackery, any of those types of products that you're using for mobile power or for battery backup, take a picture of it and then text it to us. And then I'm starting up a new program just for those people where if they have an alternative brand or product and would like to try one of ours and like to adopt one of our units, by having an alternative brand, I'll give you a special offer. I got the idea from the car dealerships. I think they have this where if you have a competing brand at your home, they'll give you additional incentives. So I basically came up with a similar program that I'm trying to roll out. So if anybody here has a competing product, like a Tesla, Blue Eddy, Anchor, whatever, just take a picture of it, send it to us, and then let us know whether you do or don't like it. It doesn't matter to me if you do or don't. It's just if you have one, that means you're a person who does need or want backup power. So for those reasons, I will provide an incentive to try one of ours. How does a G3, so okay, I've ordered a G4. Can I buy extra battery pack later? You can always get an extra battery pack later, but also be mindful of what I said earlier in the live, that the pricing of lithium has gone up. So if you wait later on in the timeline, it's potential that the battery extension could be higher in price, and I might be limited in stock because everything seems to be selling out faster than we anticipated. So it's kind of one of those things. Limited supply, high demand. So yes, you can always get an extension pack later, as long as we have them, right? We have to have them in stock to get them to you. So no problem there. So if Prominence, if you bought one on back order, then it should be, they're getting shipped. Well, they just arrived, so they're going to start being shipped these next couple days. So anybody who did buy a back order G3 or G4 should start to get them very soon. All right, let's see if we can get this. If you guys are watching the live and you guys have friends, tell them about this. You know, we can probably come up with some kind of program, like some kind of referral program, where if maybe you refer to us a friend or a business. If you refer to us a business that wants to go off grid, I will get you guys some kind of referral. So we do have affiliates now on YouTube. You guys have probably seen the Minuteman videos now. So the affiliates, they promote the battery packs to people, and people like them, and then they buy them, and because of that, the affiliate should be rewarded, right? But you as the consumer, you are the active user, the other side of this product. So if you're enjoying the product, if you found it to be helpful, you should let your friends know. Let your friends know. Let businesses know. It's more important to try to take businesses off grid than it is homes, because the grid is trying to power the large infrastructure. Homes don't really use up too much power. So if we can start to offload energy for businesses as well, I mean, that's just, you know, a huge advantage for the grid, for green energy, and then potentially for return on investment for some of those businesses. So if you can refer to us a home or a business that needs this product and will buy one, we will put you on a referral program, so we could send you maybe I don't know, probably sending a check or something, a gift card with money on it. I'll figure out a way to reward you guys. We've done it before for different incentives, but I think that being able to have other people refer their friends and families to our products is helpful to us. So why would I not reward you for doing so? I built solar roof. Hang on, let me read this. So it says, I built a solar roof with 15 kW solar panels. I want battery storage and inverter charger combo. Think that the 2G3 is what I want. Sending you text message also. Can't send pictures of my inverter charger combo and the 2 batteries, 110 kW and 15 kW. Michael, what do you mean that you can't send the pictures? I don't know. Like you physically can, or you don't have access to send them? I think, Michael, I think we hooked you up with the best price possible right now. I'm just trying to give out people ways where they can potentially save products, but you got to qualify for each program, right? Every program is a qualifying thing. We have residential rebates, and we have the American Business Grant. So each grant or each incentive qualifies for different products and different like rates. So if you have a specific situation, let us know what it is in the chat, and then I'll try to find ways to find you a power product to solve your problem. But if you're ready to buy a product, just text the number and then we'll hook you up there. It's Nick's birthday. He left to go do party stuff. Right, Andy? It's just me and Andy, but Andy's not listening.
Sorry, Andy.
Is there still cake, by the way? Yeah, but I'm just like a super little slice. Thanks. Trying to go off sugar again. I realized I was on a sugar hiatus, and then I thought it was cool, and then one day I just started feeling like really bad. I started feeling like headache and then like all groggy when I would wake up in the mornings. And then I was like, why do I feel like this? I usually never feel like this, and it was because I would assume the sugar. I was like sneaking chocolates, thank you. Who's in the chat? What questions do you have? Otherwise I run out of things to talk about. And if the chat doesn't go on, we usually just shut off the YouTube live. Once the YouTube live is shut off, nobody can get discounts. So if we don't get activity in the chat, then you're not gonna get it. Then we can't get discounts. I'm on the mainland. The system is in Hawaii. Don't worry about it, Michael. We're gonna hook you up anyway. You have a very specific application. So don't worry about it. It's just for people who are just hearing about our products now. Says, don't want anything to do with the government. The A cash price. What is the A cash price? Oh, I see. What state are you in, Michael? Let me know something in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just kind of sitting here like a duck. And I got nothing to say. It's okay right now.
Oh, right. Definitely will. Looks great. Hello, one and all. We're here to talk batteries. Came to check in on you guys, maybe help Brian answer some questions, but if I'm not seeing any questions, I'm going to get back to editing the video I'm working on.
Cut the stream, Nick.
Is that one of those streams?
I don't know.
Maybe touch base with Tommy. See if it's how it's looking.
I'm making the adjustments now.
Anybody guess my age?
Nope.
Prominence Perspective Media came very, very close. Why did the Komodo go from 29K to 39K? Or am I hallucinating? Want to talk about prices? Well, here, first of all, if you want to get a Komodo, there is a residential rebate program and American Business Grant that will bring it back down to a price that is closer, if not lower, than that 29K mark. Just here's the thing, with the lithium and battery energy storage industry right now, things are really in flux. If you check out a lot of our competitors as well, Blue Eddy, EcoFlow, all the rest, you'll see a different price almost every day right now, and us included. So it's a strange time in the market right now. A lot of the manufacturers for solar products produce overseas and are being affected by tariffs. We manufacture majority of our product here in Los Angeles where we're based, so that helps us with that issue. But lithium is lithium, and the price of lithium is increasing worldwide fast.
Now, do you need a Komodo product? Is that why you're asking? Let us know. Let us know what you're trying to do. What is your power problem? 5:20 after 9.
Standing tall, eco-friendly, hear the call. Join us, we're having a ball. But the wall is calling, running with line. Saving the planet, one charge at a time. Battery Evo, the future's prime. Power the world,
Anybody has any battery questions, ask them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just end up cutting out the stream. Yeah, we'll just end up cutting out the stream. So we need to make sure that people are chatting it up. They will take the deposit, Michael. If you call in, the people in there should be able to help you with everything that you need. They're going to take the deposit. They're going to be the one who handles the shipping. They're going to be the one who handles the addresses and all of that. They know how to do it. They've done it before. When it comes to fulfillment, there's only so many answers I can give you over the live. We can talk about the products, but when it comes to fulfilling the units and how they're going to get to you, that team is designated for that. In Valley Center and want to avoid renting gas generator, thinking G4, G3. Manny Gomez is in Valley Center. Valley Center is where? And want to avoid renting gas generator, thinking G4, G3. Okay, so if you want to do this, how much is it going to cost you to rent a gas generator, Manny? But yes, you can use... What are you going to use it for? How do you plan on using it? And then I can try to kind of guide you through this, but it would be effectively cheaper to use a battery bank versus a gas generator, especially if you're renting one. I know it can get pretty pricey to rent one of those gas generators. But let me know what you're trying to power. And then we can see how the G4, G3 could potentially be the thing you need. And Manny, if you are thinking about San Diego County, okay, so that's a sunny area. And then are you just going to use this for your home, or like, do you need to rent a gas generator? What's the reason for renting one? Okay, so rolling blackouts on days, they turn off grid on fire risk days. Oh, I got you. I get that too. I get emailed that they're gonna do that to in my area. So in this situation, you could use the off-grid G4 setup, and then if there's a blackout, you never have to worry about the grid. You'll always have power because you'll have off-grid power. And then two, if you're living in San Diego, I know the San Diego utility company is a little bit more expensive than it is in other places. So you could use the G4 or G3 as a daily use product to reduce your utility bills. So you could reduce your utility bills by installing G3, G4 with solar. You could also reduce your utility without the solar. If you don't want the solar kit, you could just charge with the grid, and then during the blackouts, the battery pack's power will power your home. So you'll have enough battery backup to power your home for a good day or so, depending on how many appliances you're running. So if you're running too many appliances, you'll drain out the battery pack quicker. If you're in a blackout and you just have a couple lights on, maybe like a light AC or something, you should have plenty of power for multiple hours, maybe 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Just depends on how efficiently you use the battery pack. But Manny, if you need something like this, $150 a day for a rental. Yeah, and SDG is they're pretty bad. I know we had to do the research for the utility companies a long time ago. SDGE is very expensive, and they still have blackouts. So there's a couple things here that the G3, G4 can solve for you, Manny. It's one, it'll reduce your utility bills. You could go completely off grid if you use the solar kit. And then during the blackouts, you won't have to worry about blackouts. You'll always have power. So it's a power outage protection device, and it's a utility reduction device. If you're considering getting one, and then mostly care about the refrigerator. The refrigerator, if you just have that on, the G4 will run for days, maybe like 10 days straight. If you just have the refrigerator, because the refrigerators use up about like 200 to 300 watts of power, maybe 500 on the high end, and you're gonna have 23,000 watts inside the G4, G3. So Manny, if you are thinking about getting one, the prices of the product has gone up. So because of that, we did the YouTube live again. So you can go on YouTube live, and then you can text this number here, the one right below me, the 747-282-0538 number. Let us know that you're looking to get one of these products, and then you can get a YouTube live pricing. It's the best way to get the best deal. We'll always have a deal going on the site or whatever, but this, because it's limited in time, will use up the small window to get people out a little bit more discounts. But you have to tell us that you need one and that you want one. It's not just freebie quotes for everybody. Any way to route the solar that came with the house 3K system to charge the Walrus? Yes. Now, you don't want, there's a couple ways to do this. It just depends on how you are leasing or buying your solar panels. So we recommend don't touch your panels if it's going to avoid some type of warranty or some type of lease with whoever you have them with. But if you have solar now, the solar goes directly into your main electrical panel. You can set up a breaker to collect that energy and then move it through a NEMA port, which connects plug and play into the G3, and then the solar that comes in throughout the day charges your battery pack. So you're not using the main grid, you're using the solar grid. And then when the power cuts out, you then reroute the energy through a sub panel to your home, through a generator port. So you'll wire up a sub panel so you route the energy away from the main electrical panel, and then you can power your home off of the battery pack and inverter. This would still be like kind of like a grid install, because you're still utilizing the grid. You don't want to mess with your existing grid solar if you don't know how to mess with it. We also made a video where you can reroute the energy. You can route the energy away from the microinverters, and collect DC energy this way. But this is a little bit like more savvy DIY setup. If you completely outright own your solar panels, you could do this, but would not recommend to do this if you're leasing them or if you have some kind of contract with somebody for these panels. Wouldn't recommend doing that one. That video is for educational purposes. You can watch it on our YouTube channel. It's how we took a grid-tied microinverter system and then rerouted the energy away from the microinverters and then into the G3 inverter, and then powered the battery pack this way, and you basically split the energy. So there's a couple ways to do it, Manny. I would say text the number on the screen so we can continue talking about this. Seems like you might have a couple more questions, but if you have existing grid solar, the G3 will work. If you have no solar, the G3 will work. If you want to go completely off-grid, we have a off-grid solar kit for the G3 and the G4 and all the other battery banks that we have, all the other all-in-ones. So no matter the situation you're in, you can always power up the, what is it called? You can always power up your home somehow. Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool. Just sent the text, Manny. Okay, cool. So yeah, find the video. Maybe I can find it and put it right here. Me and Nick made that video. We had just learned about it that day. So maybe, and again, we're not solar installers. So you have to remember, we're not solar installers. We have engineers here. We're engineers here, so we can put stuff together for educational purposes, but just please do your own research. We're not going to sell a kit to do what we're describing to you, but it at least will give you an idea of what's possible. You know, we have to remember that there are power emergencies and situations where, you know, we have to get savvy. So that's the key. So the video that I'm going to try to find for you should show you or give you a pretty good idea as to how to do it. You just have to make sure that you do it the correct way. Oh, I think I found it. How to set up Oh yeah, I got it. Okay.
Panels.
So I'm gonna share this video. Copy. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Boom, boom. Okay, cool. So I just dropped it in the chat, and you could watch that video, Manny. It'll kind of give you a pretty good idea of how to do it. We had just learned about it that day, that week. We tested it out. Took us like maybe 2 days to figure out how to make it all work. You just got to get some splitters. You just split the wires, and then you might need some kind of like main box to plug to connect all the grid. Because all that wiring will have to be run in series. So it's basically going to go around your microinverters. You'll see in the video. You'll see what we mean. So you might need a couple of extra components, but you could definitely reroute the energy away. Another thing that you could do, so for anybody who does have grid-tied solar, you're probably collecting rebates. So when you sell the energy back to the utility company, you're getting rebates for it. Depending on your state, city, location, the rebates are different. I know that SCE kind of dropped the ball on that and kind of ruins everybody's rebates, but they're still giving out rebates. So if you already have solar panels, and then perhaps you could find a way to get a couple extra panels. The kits we have it's 4 and 8, so it's not really that much more. Some of the homes in California, Arizona, and Texas could easily do this, but here's a life hack. You could keep your grid-tied solar intact. Don't mess with it. Leave it the way it is. Shut off all the breakers on that main electrical panel except for the one that runs the solar. And then you can get the extra 4 or 8 panel kit. A lot of people, you'd be surprised, you'd run perfectly fine on 4 panels. But 4 or 8 panels, you wire those to the G3 or G4 and then power your home off grid, and then you just let the solar go back to the grid, and then you could just collect your rebate. That's just a life hack. That's just a life hack. Some of you guys have really big solar systems on your roof. You could basically shut off the power that's utilizing that power right now, the solar, and let the utility company just pay you to have the solar. You have a tiny solar farm on your roof. Now, you might not make thousands and thousands of dollars, but a couple extra bucks here and there just because the power is flowing back and forth.
Passive income is passive income.
Passive income is passive, you know? That's the thing about it.
It's the best kind of income.
Wouldn't you like to make income and just be passive about it? How passive are you usually Monday through Friday?
Oh man, not as passive as I should be. All right, how's this stream going?
It's going okay.
Some folks in here.
It seems to have picked up a little bit, but we gotta
Cool.
ask things in the chat, or we're gonna cut the stream out.
Guys, ask in the chat. You heard it here first. So I'm gonna give you guys the whole spiel. My name's Nick. This is Brian. We're both from marketing at BatterEVO, and we're streaming to you live from the BatterEVO headquarters here in Los Angeles, California. We do this from time to time, and basically we do it so we can answer your questions and help those of you who might be at the beginning of your off-grid journey get started and better understand how you might go about equipping your home with solar and a battery backup. So ask us questions about the products, about what we do, anything you want, we'll answer. You know, we're here just to read the chat, so whatever you write, we're going to have to address. And while we're live, only while we're live streaming, we can give you exclusive discounts. We've been authorized by our fulfillment team to give you prices lower than any of our sales prices that you'll find on our website for any product on BatterEVO if you're a viewer of this stream. Now, we only stream for an hour or two at a time. When the stream cuts out, we won't be able to give you those discounts anymore. So if you've been thinking about getting a battery, now's a good time. You know, tariffs are coming, already in effect. Things change every day. So it's always smart to be proactive and think ahead while you can, especially if you're trying to save money. So text us in. That's 747-282-0538. Brian and I will get your text right here in this room. We'll hook you up with an exclusive quote. In the meantime, ask us your questions. You hear the AI tracks behind us. We want to tell you about the walrus. We want to tell you about the rhino, and so on and so forth. Manny Gomez.
Manny Gomez texted in. Let's see, where's it at?
Manny Gomez. Also, guys, we have very limited stock on our Walrus and Rhino series because they have been consistently selling out, sometimes faster than we can even build them. But I wanted to let you know I got word that we have an extended stock of our Mantis, which is a similar product to the Walrus, to the Rhino. It's a UL listed off-grid home backup for your solar, for your grid power, for anything else. That is, we got 25 of those right now. So for those of you who might be wanting to pick up a product but don't want to wait for the back order on some of our most popular products, Mantis is a great system. Very sleek and looks good in the home too. We collaborated with
Overkill
U-Home.
versus G3? No.
As G4 Overkill? No, it depends on your uses. I mean, they're both really good products. For the average user, you're probably going to be good with either the G3 or the G4. The main difference you'll see is in the solar capacity, right? With the solar input on the inverter. That's the primary difference. So if you're planning on running more solar panels...
No. Sorry. I meant the G4 has a stronger inverter than the G3.
That's it. Yeah.
So you can have more continuous power. So if you have stronger appliances that draw out more power, the G4 will be better. If you don't have very strong appliances like electric boilers, laundromats, electric stoves, and huge AC systems in your house, and you just need battery backup or want to lower your bills, the G3 is perfectly fine. But for some of you guys who have 3, 4, and 5 ton ACs, and then laundromats, electric boilers, all of that in your home, you probably benefit more from the stronger inverter on the G4. Now, if you have all of those in your house, you'd probably want to upgrade to like a Pacific Pro, because some of those units can draw out a lot of power. So it's not that it takes more solar; they'll take the same amount of solar. It's the same PV input, and about the same battery's capacity. What it is, it's a stronger power output.
You heard it here first. So, Manny, if you need more output, G4 is your move. G3, more standard levels. Probably take a couple key appliances off grid. Use a soft start on that AC.
So it's not overkill, no. Some people just would prefer a higher power output. I would also recommend the G4 over the G3. It's just more efficient overall. It's a little newer. But the G3 is more price effective.
Newer tends to be better in the tech space, generally speaking.
Newer is better. Is newer always better, Nick? And be honest and be careful with what you're going to say.
Definitely no.
Okay, good.
Definitely no.
Because it depends on what you're talking about.
First thing I thought of was the Star Wars movies.
Newer wasn't better for the Star Wars movies?
Definitely not.
What about like when you had an old dog and now you have a new dog? Is that mean? You like the dog because he's newer?
Where does Mantis sit between them? Can you pull up the Mantis specs? We'll go over it right now.
Oh, the Mantis?
Yep.
Yeah. The Mantis is the Mantis. I don't really know.
The Mantis is our UL product, large standalone system. It's I really out of a lot of our products, I really like the design on the Mantis. I think it's got a very sleek design.
All right, there you go.
So we're talking 20 kilowatt hours.
No, 10. Oh, no, yeah, sorry, you're right.
Yeah, 10 kilowatt inverter, 20 kilowatt hour capacity. So that's your nice, good storage, a little higher than like a Tesla Powerwall, for example. And having that inverter built in there, of course, is an added bonus. Good. You'd be able to compare this to the Walrus G3 more than the Walrus G4 as far as its specs.
Yeah, price-wise, it's a little bit higher too. So I guess it just depends on what you're trying to solve here. If you want best bang for your buck, G4 is the best way to go. If you are trying to get like the lowest price, just overall, G3 would win. And then the Mantis would just basically be like a, what do you call it? Like, I don't even know if I'd call it in the middle.
It also, I mean, it looks
nice.
It looks better in your garage. I'll tell you that for a fact. That's just my opinion.
It looks good. There's no wheels on this. It is a UL listed product. I don't know. I mean, I'm always going to vouch more for the G4.
Yeah, I'm a Walrus guy.
Just because it's overall the better product, right? Like, you could do off-grid at any point in time. If you wired up the G4 to your home and then later on decided to go off grid, you could at any point go off grid. You could at any point install an extension pack. You could at any point install a generator port to it. You could at any point install a generator, a gas or diesel generator to it.
I think the Walrus is like,
You know, and then when you get the sub panel installation going, once you get savvy enough, you could do 2 sub panels and then get 2 G4s completely separate, and then completely offload your entire home and reduce the power load on the inverters, and then you create a really efficient system. That's just what it is.
the Walrus is your easiest, most accessible solar product for sure. I am gonna step out, check on my video for a
There's
second.
something that I
render
needed
going.
to do. Oh
We'll
yeah.
be back.
All right, so I'm getting All right, guys, if you guys want a G4, I just got announced that we just allocated the lot that has been sold. So if you bought one in back order, yours should be going to you. And out of that lot, there are only 12 left in stock. Okay, so they'll probably be out of stock again by probably Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, they'll probably be all out of stock again. So if you're looking to get one of these products, this is the chance to do it. Otherwise, you're going to have to go into back order pricing again. So just keep that in mind, because then you guys are going to hit me up next week and be like, why can't I get this now? It's like, because I told you they'd sell out. Da, 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 da.
Let me tell you about a system called the Walrus. It's a wonderful machine that benefits all of us. Inverter on the top, battery on bottom. Power your whole home, appliances, all of them. Off-grid living feels so good. Going green for our planet just like you should. Time of use settings, more money in your pocket. Buy a Walrus and your family is stocked up. You got the Arctic, plug it in and start it. Fast shipping to your crib, best prices on the market. Wheels on your carpet, power your apartment. Energy is money and it's time to harvest. Yeah, you know it. Turn your panels into cash. Every angle's looking rad. Power outage, don't sweat, 'cause your Walrus got your back. It's a fact, all our systems slap, batteries bad.
All right, if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the chat, and I'll try to answer them. I don't know what's going on here.
Let's go, BatterEVO, Walrus, BatterEVO, lowest prices on the market.
So where does the Mantis sit between them? Okay, yeah, so then Mahendran asked, does the G4 inverter push power back to the grid if it's already charged fully and solar production is more than the load? So the inverter itself will not push the power back to the grid. So when you do the install for the G4, you're not really touching the grid. The grid, the way it's at your house, will operate as normal. You're not changing anything. You're just installing an additional breaker to your main electrical panel. That breaker will attach to a port, to a NEMA port, so that you can take the grid's power out and use it for the G3 or G4. When the G4 is fully charged, it has no reason to pull from the grid anymore, so it stops pulling from the grid. It just stops charging. At that point, your grid isn't pulling the power anymore. So if you have the solar coming into the grid, the same grid will operate as normal. It doesn't change anything. This isn't like one of those AC coupled devices that when full push back to the grid, it doesn't need to do that. Just consider it like a standalone battery pack detached from your grid. But you can use the grid to charge it. It's just not what you would call AC coupled or grid tied, right? We're trying to help you guys go off grid as often as possible. right? So the whole idea of trying to get a grid tied battery pack, you're still back in the situation where you're grid tied. So what's the way that you're going to be able to get off grid? The only way you're going to reduce your utilities and have power outage protection is to utilize off grid power, because when there's no grid, there is no power. When you're using the grid, you're spending money. Anytime the grid is on, you're spending money. Anytime the grid is off, you have no power. So what is the actual solution to solve this problem? If you get a grid tied battery pack that is intertwined with your grid, you will still have the same problem. It will cost you money to power that pack and to use it for your home, because it's using the grid. And when you have the solar or whatever, when the power goes out, if the battery pack runs out, you can't re-power it if you're grid tied. So the G4, what we like to consider the walrus, is everything below the grid. So your grid box remains as is. All you're doing is installing a NEMA port. This NEMA port attaches to your main electrical panel via a breaker. That main electrical panel will operate as normal no matter what. You just happen to now have a brand new appliance attached to it, which is the G4, right? Like you'll see in the video behind me. So the grid has that port and you use this cable. That cable then connects to the side of the walrus, just like it is in the video. Now you're just pulling the energy from the main electrical panel as needed. Once you don't need to power it up, the inverter just stops charging. It just won't charge. And your grid just operates as normal. Can I use G3 extension pack on a G4? You will not be able to use a G3 extension pack on a G4. There are two different system voltages. You need a G4 extension pack for a G4. You need a G3 extension pack for a G3. All right, guys, we're going to let this go on for a little longer. If the chat doesn't pick up, I'm going to call it. We're going to call it. It's Friday. It's Nick's birthday. I don't really see a reason for this to go on as long as it did last time. So if nobody jumps in, what's up? All right, so Andy just gave me the cue to shut it all off. The cue is very inappropriate. Oh shit. Let me go back here. All right, so we might cut out the stream soon. So if you're looking to get a battery pack or you're just joining, text the number below and we can get you a battery pack. I'm answering text messages now. People are texting in, they want the battery pack, so they're gonna get YouTube live pricing. I also just mentioned that there's about 12 units left in stock after we just brought the pre-order lot. So we sold out about 90% of the whole lot in pre-order. So if you continue to wait, will start to increase. Not just ours, but everything you buy. Electricity, electric vehicles, foreign vehicles, clothes. So if you hit me up in 2 weeks and say, well, you were going to give it to me at this price last time, it's like, yeah, that was the YouTube live pricing that day. You have to take advantage of it that day. I will not be able to give this to you later today, tomorrow, or next week, right? And if the prices change, I might be able to get you a discount, but I won't be able to get you the same discount that I was offering today. So we have to try to at least text the number below so that we know that you were in here, so that we know that you're interested. And those two things alone are going to help you get qualified for better pricing than what's on the website. Otherwise, it's not happening, right? No matter which way we try to shape it, I just can't do it. Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. All right, so I'm trying to answer everybody's text messages. So text me right now. When the G3s, when are G3 extension batteries being shipped from back order? Again, if you ordered them on back order, we said it earlier in the chat that if you bought stuff on back order, you should be receiving it within 1 to 2 weeks, 3 weeks the latest. We just got the lot stocked today or yesterday, so they have to bring them all in, test everything, make sure everything's working good, put the batteries inside the shells and do all that kind of stuff. So they just got the units. They've allocated the stock for the people who've already purchased. They should start shipping. Is the G4 LiFePO? The G4, I believe, is NMC. I don't know if you guys know the real differences between the LFP and the NMC. The LiFePO. Oh wait, I can use the same 1450 that charges EV for G4, right? I can use that same. The 14 amp. Are you, Manny? Are you talking about the NEMA port? If it sounds like it is. Let me see if I can get you the materials list so you can take a look at it. If it matches, then I would say yes. If it doesn't match, then I'm going to say I don't know. I don't want to give information I'm not really familiar with, but it sounds like you're talking about the NEMA port. If that's the case, then yes. If it's not the NEMA port you're talking about, then I'm not really sure. But I'm going to drop the materials list for everybody to look at it, and you guys could see what it's going to require to do the install. It's actually not that much stuff. You can get this stuff at Home Depot for pretty cheap. Helton, yes, NEMA port. Okay, yeah, take a look at the materials list, Manny. If it looks like what's in that materials list, then the answer is yes. Answer is yes. Helton, is the G4 LiFePO? No, the G4 is not LiFePO. It's NMC chemistry. Commonly found in electric vehicles. So yeah, the G4 is NMC. Helton, what's the reason for your question? Why do you ask this question? Do you want to get a battery pack? Are you questioning the integrity of the G4's chemistry? Are you concerned? You can ask Helton, ask in the chat what you are planning to use the G4 for, or like what you're considering to use it for, and why you're asking the question if it is LiFePO. I just want to know what your reasoning behind the question is. So yeah, take a look at everybody else in the chat. Also, if you guys want to, you could take a look at that materials list so you could see what it is. It's basically what you're seeing playing on repeat behind me. But that's for Komodo. So Komodo, like you see, you just plug it in. The Komodo is the same setup as a G4. So we just took what a G4 is and then just made it much more industrial. It's very hard to move around large battery packs, right? So everybody says like, well, it's more expensive. It's like, yeah, well, look, if you're going to get a large battery bank, it's going to be very heavy. Same thing with a generator. Like if you want one of those large fuel capacity gas tank generators, it's probably very heavy, right? So how do you move this stuff around when you get on a more industrial application like this? So our chairman and our designer just decided let's make something that can be mobile and you can move around the battery pack much simpler if you needed to. Now, if you just want to park it next to your main electrical panel, charge it and discharge it, that's fine too. But at least you know that when it gets arrived to your house, you could just remote control it to its location. You don't have to worry about pallet jacking. If you live in an area where maybe there's no concrete or easy to push around, because these battery packs are heavy, right? We're not going to lie that they're not. They are heavy. So this is a way to get a huge battery bank with a big inverter into your home without really having to worry about how you're going to move it around. Helton says, yes, but I need LiFePO. What is the reason why you need LifePo, Helton? I want to use the battery outside the country. But why do you need to use LifePo? Is there a reason you need to use LifePo? Do you understand the differences between NMC and LifePo? Why do you say you need to use it? And it's totally okay if you want to use the battery outside the country. Manny Gomez says, cool, I'm waiting for pricing. Got to run it by boss wife. Okay, Manny, I think they should be sending you a quote in a bit. You should be getting the best price available. And again, the pricing will probably go up. I just have to keep saying it because then a week from now, somebody in the chat, it happens every single week, somebody in the chat is going to hit me up why they can't get the price from the last YouTube live. It's like because it's limited. It's limited in time and it's limited in quantities. So we can only go live for a little bit amount of time every so often to do this kind of thing, right? So I think LifePo is more durable than NMC. In what regard, Helton? Why do you think LifePo is more durable than NMC? How durable are we talking here? How much more durable do you believe LifePo is than NMC? And what's the reasoning for it? All right, Manny, just keep a lookout on your phone in case you get that quote, just because if once it's gone, it'll expire and you can't use it again. What is the price for the G3 or G4, W3 or W4? Teach me, man. I'll teach you, Helton. I just want to know. We got to keep the chat banter going. If we don't keep the chat going back and forth, I have to shut off the live. So that's why I have to ask you questions too. So look, NMC and LifePo, they're both lithium. They're just different chemistries that provide like what builds the battery pack, right? LifePo is more traditionally marketed on the internet because that's usually what those little battery packs are made out of. Like your battery is probably at LifePo, like in your phone, those like the little golf cart ones. You'll see we have some LFP batteries for us too, but the G4s are using the same battery cells that are used in electric vehicles. Electric vehicles use NMC versus LFP because NMC has a higher energy density, meaning it's able to provide or move around energy at higher rates more efficiently. So the fact that LifePo lasts longer is not even a thing. That's just a marketing thing. They always say LifePo has a longer lifespan, but that's compared to lead acid, not to NMC. So LifePo is a traditional chemistry used in most lithium batteries, but it is not what I would consider the best, and it's not what you would consider the most efficient all of the time, right? It always depends on your application. For example, electric vehicles will traditionally use NMC because it has higher energy density. Now, as a lot of you guys know, that some of our products are repurposed, meaning we use brand new battery cells from electric vehicles to build up the Walrus units. So what's happening here is that we are using the same technology used in electric vehicles to make the Walruses. So when you go online, you're gonna find that everybody's saying LifePo is better. But why are they saying it's better? It's because they're the ones selling LifePo, right? I'm not gonna sit here and tell you NMC is better than LifePo. I'm going to sit here and tell you that it's just a different chemistry. That's it. They're both lithium. They both have between 3,000 to 5,000 life cycles. They're both very efficient. They're more efficient than lead acid battery packs. And irregardless if you say you want LifePo or need LifePo, that's probably going to come out of some lithium mine directly to you. So the cost to manufacture that product is going to be much higher. Whereas the way we sustain and get our battery packs, you're not going to be able to find a battery pack at our pricing on a price per kilowatt hour level. So LifePo is not what you would consider better than NMC. You can't really compare the two this way. What really makes a difference is their energy density. NMC has a higher energy density than LFP, allowing it to be more efficient with large power draw, like an electric vehicle would. So if people are looking around the internet, I know you're seeing everything LifePo all over the internet. I know you guys do. I do the market research every single day. I know. But it won't really matter, to be completely honest, when you're using this battery pack for your home. And we've had the LFP Arctics, but those are limited. We didn't have too many of those. People bought those because they're LFP, and they seem to have liked them. But irregardless, the Walrus G3 and G4 are still the most popular products we sell. It's the overall best bang for your buck. Whenever we do the NMC batteries, we're able to provide way bigger battery banks than if we were to use the LiFePo, by the way. So when everybody asks, like, why are we using NMC, it's because the NMC stuff because the energy density is so much higher, we can give you guys bigger battery packs for them. Versus if you go look at those LiFePo packs, they tend to be a lot less in battery's capacity. You're not going to find a 23 kilowatt hour battery pack. You're not going to find a 62 kilowatt hour battery pack that often. I mean, you might, right? Like they exist. I'm not going to say they don't. Like, let me see what the King Kong 2 is, for example. Like, for example, the King Kong 2 is LFP, right? Now, it's not that one's better than the other. It just happens to be that we built that product with that product cell. But then I think if you move over to like the Pacific Pro, it might also be, I think it might be NMC again, but I'll double check. So that's all it really is. It's not really like a thing like NMC is worse. That's not a thing, right? I just think that the marketing for the LiFePo is much greater in the internet. If you do want LFP, the Pacific and the Pacific Pro are LFP, by the way. I just checked online. They're both LFP. It's just the G4s are NMC. So there's that for you. We're going to cut out the live pretty soon.
Let me introduce you to the walrus. It's free. A machine so amazing, it's like living a dream. Inverter on top, battery below. Powers your whole house, everything on the go. Living off the grid, it's such a thrill. Glowing green for the planet, it's a fantastic deal. Time of use settings, save you more cash. Buy a walrus and your family will stash. We've got the Arctic, plug it in, start the spark. Fast shipping to your door, we're hitting the mark.
Let me see. All right, so how much is the G4 now? Okay, teach me, man. Okay, here we go. So James Rowe, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the text messages. If you want a product, text the number on the screen. All right, we're gonna cut this out soon. I can't have this go on for too long today.
All our systems cheer, batteries top tier. Get a walrus and you'll stay here. So look
All right, so here, all right. So James Rowe, I just joined the video. I missed above. I got a G3, need G3 extension battery. Going to support G3 now that G4 is out. G3 and G4 are a bit different battery configure voltage, right? Yeah, James Rowe, you're right. The voltages on the G3, G4 are different. We will still have the G3 because it's still a very popular product. So we will bring more G3s in. If you need extension pack, you can get one. I would say if you want one right now, text us right now because we just got stock for them. We'll probably be sold out by the end of the week again. So. Yes, we'll continue to have G3 and we'll have G4. They're different inverters, but the battery packs will continue to build them. How much is the G4 now? So the G4 right now on my website is, let me see one more time. I keep jumping back and forth. So it's gonna be all right, so the G4 is retailing right now at $6,449 for 23 kilowatt hour worth of battery pack and a 15 kVA inverter. So Helton, if you want a battery pack, text the number on the screen. Even if you're not ready just yet, just text us so we know you were in the YouTube Live. We have YouTube Live pricing available today only. So if you call me back tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to give you the price that I have today. Randy says LiPo is less likely to have thermal runaway. That's probably true, but it also has to do with the efficiency of how you run your product, right? Every product is going to have thermal runaway. I challenge you to plug in your LiPo phone battery pack 24 hours a day, discharge and charge it every day, and then tell me that it doesn't have thermal runaway and that the battery pack doesn't last as long. It has to do with efficiency. You don't want to load your units and then constantly be going 0 to 100. You want to create as little life cycles as possible. That goes for your laptop, that goes for your phone, that goes for your home battery backup, that goes for your electric vehicle. I don't know if you guys know this, but for a cell phone, it is not recommended to let the lithium battery die and then recharge it to 100. It's recommended to charge it between 20 and 80. So I don't know how often you guys charge your phones. I'm a programmer. I use my phone and laptop all the time. The laptop I've had it for like a little over a year, maybe almost 2 years. The battery will not last me anymore because I'm constantly plugged into the wall, and I run extra monitors to it all of the time. The phone, I'm using it for marketing and sales consistently. It will not hold as much charge as it used to, right? So every battery pack will experience this. Electric vehicles will experience this, but it's about creating an efficient system. So Randy, do you need a battery pack? I think you've been in here before, Randy. I think I remember your username. Michael says, what text number? Yeah, James, text the number you see below, the 747-282-0538. It's right here on my screen. Like, you can just see it like right there. 747-282-0538. Text that number and you can get a deal on the battery pack that you want if you need it. Connected to the 866 number, put money down, 500 entity, just needed the best price. My text message is the place to get me a price. I'll send another. If you already talked to someone over there, Michael, make sure that they get you the best price. Tell them you're from YouTube Live. They should be able to get you the deal that you want. No problem. All right, so let's just continue to go. James, just text in. I'll be able to answer your text messages. All right, so Helton, text in so I can see you text in. Randy, I think you've been in here before. Okay, so everybody's coming in here. Okay. Yeah, Randy, I think I memorized your user in here. Randy, tell your friends about this live chat. See if we can get more people in here. So I can see you guys' text messages. Okay, so I'm trying to get you guys deals. I like your batteries, but funds are tight right now. That's cool, Randy. Just let us know whatever you need. Whenever you need it, just let us know. I think I've seen you in here in the past. I understand funds can get tight. It does get tough. That's why I always have to refer back to saying the price of products will increase. You guys are seeing the news. You're seeing the things with the tariffs. Now, on top of that, whether the tariffs fully go into effect or don't go fully into effect or whatever ends up happening with that, traditionally speaking, the price of all goods and services will increase over time, no matter what they are, right? Whether you're a gas person or an EV person or a whatever person, ever since I've been alive, everything I've ever purchased has costed more over time. It's never, ever, ever costed less, ever. I remember when I was in middle school and I would walk home from school with my cousin, and we would buy the Shasta sodas from the ice cream truck, and they were 50 cents. I think they were 50 cents. I was just driving past that park with my cousin the other day, and I was asking him, like, I wonder what the price of those sodas are now. I would not be surprised if they were at least $1.25. I would be shocked if they were anything less than 75 cents, to be completely honest. So if you went from a Shasta soda from 50 cents to 75 cents, that's a 50% increase in price over the time frame that I used to get those sodas. I don't know what it is. I would like to go back there and maybe find out. But like I said, the price of products and services will increase no matter what. And because of that, what's the strategy? Like, electricity is going to go up. Solar is going to go up. Rebates will go down. Because as you guys know, everybody who's in this chat, you guys know. You guys are more savvy than the average consumer out there. Because you guys are already looking into battery backups to offload your energy, to go off grid. We've talked to users in here who have gone 100% off grid, from their water to their electricity to their internet. So a lot of the users that come in here, you guys are already a lot more savvy than anybody else out there, because you're already considering, like, how am I going to reduce this electric bill? How am I going to offload that AC? How am I going to make sure I have power for my family when there is no power? Whereas a lot of people, believe it or not, are just waiting till the last minute. They're just waiting. And what ends up happening is that the power outage comes, you weren't prepared. The price went up, you weren't prepared. The rebate dropped, you weren't prepared. And what ended up happening to you as the consumer, you ended up spending more money. It's happened to me, right? And it's probably happens to a lot of you guys too, but at least by being in this chat, you know for a fact that you are more savvy than the average American, because most people don't know anything about battery packs. And they're not learning about the battery packs, and they don't really know how solar works. So those of you guys that come in here and you guys chat it with us, it just goes to show that you guys are doing the research to learn and to try to find a solution for this. It's super important. You know, it's the reason why our chairman makes these products, is because he understands that the utility cost will increase and the utility usage will increase. Our chairman here at the facility, at our BatterEVO facility, half of the building runs on our own battery packs and solar. The other half doesn't, because we would need a really big solar array, but there's not to say that we won't get to that point, that we'll run the whole place off grid. We have a pretty big facility here. But the whole thing is, or half of it is running off grid. The chairman's home is running off grid. And so it's just one of those things. There's people who are not homeowners, they are like renters, and they wish they could use these products in their home. They say that they can't because they don't own the grid there and they don't own the home there, so they can't install it for themselves, but they wish they could do it. So if you're a renter, if you're an apartment or something like that, where you should let the landlords know, like, hey dude, it's costing me a lot of money to pay for electricity to live here. Look at this product that I found online. You could plug this in and you can help us all go off grid. And I don't see as like why the landlord wouldn't try, if the landlord could get tax incentives for it, and he could potentially help his customers live better and pay the rent. Like, I don't see why it wouldn't be beneficial to everyone everywhere to have a battery pack that can offload the energy, right? So if you're a business, if you're an apartment building, duplex, quadplex, triplex, this is going to benefit you in more ways than one. You just have to consider what your power problem is, and we'll find you your power solution. So, Randy, I know your funds are tight right now. That's okay. Don't worry about it. But it just brings up the topic of how when you were a kid, Nick, And when you would walk home from school,
Sometimes.
would you stop by the ice cream truck or something, like sometimes buy snacks or sodas?
Yeah, there was a little convenience store.
How much were the cheapest sodas?
Cheapest soda? Well, according to Providence, I am 37 years old, so the cheapest soda back in...
You gonna do the math?
No, like $1 or $2.
Yeah. $1 or $2. Oh, because I was just telling them right now that the Shasta sodas? It was kind of like off-brand or whatever.
Yeah.
Those were 50 cents. And I was wondering the other day that I was passing by the park, like, I wonder how much they cost now. Because we're just trying to prove the point that it's like no matter what, like whether it's our products or any product or any service, the price of it will go up.
I mean, inflation is crazy.
Inflation,
Yeah, inflation has been crazy. It already was crazy before this year. Now it's double crazy.
Michael's asking for the price again. The G4. Michael, if you talk to someone, they should have given you your pricing. But the price for the G4 as it stands right now is $6,449.
But I know what we're allowed to give it away for on the live stream discount. So text us in and find out. It's a good little bit of money off.
I think Michael called over there, and then they figured out his situation. He put down his deposit, so he should be able to get his product. He'll get a good price.
Congrats, Michael. I'm glad we got that figured out. Very cool. Are they going to ship it directly, or are we going to be bringing it with us?
I think fulfillment will figure that out.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
allow Michael to deal with the fulfillment team on this one, because I don't want to get mixed information for that.
Excellent. Very cool. Jeff says, are there ways to separate PV inputs? I have a ground mount system that I use to research different solar panel production in different locations. Right now, my next experiment is a P-type versus an A-type. And Helen says, please answer my question, which is if something goes wrong with it, shipped to a different country. I don't know about the different country part of that question. That would be a question for our fulfillment team. I think there's a number in the chat, but I will say that our warranty covers any issues or unexpected problems with the battery, cells, and performance over the next 10 years from after you buy it. The international part is what I don't know about. I don't know how the warranty, if the warranty is affected or voided by international shipping. I don't think so, but I also don't know. So I would talk to our fulfillment team about that. Randy says, gotta go, guys. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Randy. Have a great weekend.
I showed him about how to do the microinverter video that we did. I'm trying to just get you up to speed.
Cool.
It's Nick's birthday, by the way. That's why he said he's 37. We're trying to get people to guess his age. No one has yet.
37 was the oldest guess we got.
We talked about the microinverter thing, how to split it. We talked about the differences between NMC and LiFePO. We talked about the price of everything going up. And then, yeah, Helton is right. He might want to ship it outside the country. So the thing that you guys got to do for that, the warranty is we'll still cover the warranty, but you're going to have to figure out a way to move the product back and forth for another country. Now, the battery packs themselves are warranted for 10 years, but they're expected to last much longer than that. And the inverter components, if need be, and they need to be swapped out at any point, they did make the components on there pretty modular. So you won't have to, most likely, you won't have to ship the whole unit back. It doesn't really happen. We're not really seeing returns on the G3s and G4s. So if there needs to be some type of troubleshoot problem and there's like a component that's not working, we can just ship you the component you need versus trying to get the whole product back over here. So it's not really too much of a concern. We did build the G3 and G4s for this reason. To have pretty modular components so that you could easily swap things out if you needed to. And then it says, how do I get, okay, your product prices are third. Okay, then how do I get the tax credit with your products that I bought? You're going to have to work with your tax person for that. I'm sure you can probably just use the invoice, give them that, and then they should make that qualify for it.
Yeah, just make sure you hold on to your invoice, hold on to your receipts.
Yeah.
Those are the key documents that you need to provide when you're filling out the form for the tax credit.
Yeah, and then you can go online and just look for solar tax credit form and download it. Are there ways to separate PV inputs? I have ground mount system that I use to research different solar panel production in different locations. Right now, my next experiment is 8P type and 8N type. Jeff, this sounds like a pretty technical question. I won't have the answer for you right this second. That kind of question, I would consider calling in to talk to an engineer. I don't know. This is the first time I've heard this question.
It's a
And
good
Helton said,
question,
please answer my question.
I love it when we get
That's
questions
crazy.
that I don't know how to answer. That means it's a good question.
If I have 2 Walrus G4s to split my solar panels up and running one inverter at a time to power my house, then they shouldn't go to 0 ever. That is better than I have texted in but never heard. You texted in what? I'm sorry, Michael. I don't know what's going on. Michael, I think if you call the CS team, you should try to finalize with the CS team. Because the number you're texting here goes directly to us. Now that you've talked to the customer support team, they have your order. They have everything set up with you. It's best to keep your communication with the people that you've started the deal with, because they're going to know your backstory. So we're texting people who want to get deals right now. The line you see below is not a customer support line. It's our line here for YouTube Live that'll go directly to me to here, and we can use it to give people deals. Now I can answer some technical questions on the YouTube Live and through that text messaging, but that text message line is for YouTube Live deals. So if you're trying to text a bunch of technical information, it's probably going to get drowned out. Not because we want to drown it out, but it's because that line wasn't intended for that. So you'd want to call the number you see on the website, the number we gave you earlier, to get out all this information that you're trying to allocate to you. I'm not going to be able to use the YouTube Live to one-on-one troubleshoot for you or answer your fulfillment questions. Now, by asking if you can split the solar panels, you can split them into 2 G4s, no problem. You can get more panels this way. You could get a more efficient system this way, and you could run a separate sub panel to offload energy. This way you're not using up the inverter's power too much, and also in return you are allowing the battery pack to be more efficient and not be used up right away. So in short answer, yes, you can split your power output to both systems and run them at the same time, as long as you have a sub panel that'll take them. If you have the sub panel and that has your breakers and your walruses are installed to those sub panels and the energy is flowing to your home, you're good. Regardless, I don't think that you're going to use up one power pack overnight. I really doubt it, unless you're using a ton of crazy appliances, which I don't think that that'll happen. It doesn't really happen. But I know you want to get more questions answered, Michael. I'm trying to get through it. You're not the only one texting us right now. But if you want to just talk to somebody who will answer all your questions, call the number I provided to you before. That is the technical team. They have all the answers for you. Scott Wetzel said age 26 or 28. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that that's right, Scott. Scott, are you looking to get a battery pack? If so, let me know what you're trying to power in the chat. If you're ready to go, if you already understand the power product and you just want to buy it, just text the number on the screen to get a YouTube Live deal. Michael, I'm trying to answer your questions. Don't worry, I'll get around to the text messages. I just got to text a bunch of people too. I installed, James Rowe goes, James Rowe says, I installed a soft starter on my 5-ton unit and interest in current went from 180 to 80 amps. Do you think I can use G3 to run the AC units? Okay, so the G3 on a 5-ton AC, even with a soft starter, is not recommended. That's what the G4 and the Walrus Pacific Pro are designed for. I would even still say, if you have a 5-ton AC, even with a 5-ton AC, Pacific Pro is actually the best product to handle 5-ton AC. G4 can do it with a soft starter, but you still have a high power surge. So if all of the stuff is plugged into your home plus the 5-ton AC, the G4 could potentially still struggle. So what happens is when that power surge comes in, the inverter has built-in BMS, and it has overvolt protection. So if it feels that it has a too high of a power surge, it's just going to shut itself off. It's not that the unit doesn't work, it's just that it's going to protect the battery pack and shut itself off. So it'll kind of like have like a click, and then you'll hear the breaker like just kind of pop, meaning it's just like I shut off. I don't like this power surge. Now, people can do it. People have done it. People are offloading the 5-ton ACs with the soft starter by utilizing half grid and half power from the G4 inverter. I'm gonna say G3, no. If you're trying to get a good deal, and you just want to pay less, I would say get the G3 for your home, but do not back up the 5-ton AC on the G3. You'd be better off 5-ton AC, soft starter, G4 or Pacific Pro. And even then, if you did it this way, you might even consider getting 2 G4s or a G4 and a G3. Maybe you could do a G4 for just the AC and then a G3 for your entire home. So you just keep them on 2 different panels or 2 different breakers, and then just wire them up to 2 different power units. What's happening here is that those 5-ton ACs, they're very large. Those are basically like industrial ACs. I know that they put them in homes, but they're huge and they draw out so much power. If recommended, if you could, get a AC wall mount unit for power outages or for offloading the energy. I know everybody wants to run their central AC. I know it's more luxurious. I know it's convenient to just go hit the button and turn it on, but you're gonna find that most products on the market cannot handle a 5-ton AC. The Tesla Powerwall will only do 11 kilowatts of continuous power. It'll probably have an an oversurge problem as well, along with some of those other smaller battery banks. So that's the biggest thing that everybody asks about, the 5-ton ACs. Pacific Pro is the way to go for that one. That one for sure. If you go 5-ton AC with soft starter and the Pacific Pro 18 kVA inverter, that is the most recommended product for that. Now again, the G4 can do it. It's just you're gonna need to be a little tricky with it. You're gonna want to make sure you have your breakers properly offloading so you don't oversurge at any point. But you already installed the soft starter, so that's already a great start. It should work on the G4. For sure, G3, no. We're not allowed to recommend G3 for anything over a 3.5-ton AC. Even with or without soft starter. We're not allowed to recommend that. So I know it sounds a little off-putting to hear this because everybody wants to offload their central AC systems. But it's just a tech thing. It's just a technology thing. It's not even just us. It's a lot of inverters won't recommend you putting a 5-ton AC on it, or even a 4-ton AC on it, or even a 3.5-ton AC on it. But you already have soft starter. You already have the inverter. Now, another thing to remember is that when that AC is running, although it has a soft starter, it is going to draw more power out of your battery bank. So your battery bank will deplete faster. So if you're trying to hold yourself out for power outages, you do not want the 5-ton AC or any central AC running on your battery pack. You want to conserve that power for as long as possible. Just keep the essentials on. By the federal government, it is claimed that central AC or AC as a whole is not considered a necessity. AC is considered a luxury. So even homes in certain states and cities and counties, it is not required for home builders to put AC in homes in certain areas because it is not considered a necessity for living. I didn't make up that rule. You could look it up. So when we're talking about power outages, that's what we have to go by. When we're talking about offloading energy, you want a stronger inverter, which is the G4. You need a stronger inverter, it's the Pacific Pro. You need the strongest inverter, that's the Komodo. That's just the best way to go. Now, here's one other life hack if you guys want to go this route. If you feel that the inverter is not what you're looking to get out of one of our products, you can go into the market and find any 48 volt inverter that you like or might already have that could do the thing that you want it to do. You could buy that 48 volt inverter and come back to us to get a large battery bank for that 48 volt inverter. You could pair up the Rhino 4 or the King Kong 2 to a 48 volt inverter so that you could get a large battery bank with your desired inverter. So that's just another solution for you there. It says can this be connected to the grid with solar panel supply? Yes, Scott, we just talked about earlier in the chat. You can watch this back a little later, but if you already have grid tied solar, you can you can still use the G4. So you can use the G4 with grid tied solar, without solar, or with off-grid solar. Scott, if you're looking to get a little more information, I'm going to cut out this live pretty soon. So I would say text the number on the screen. I'll answer your questions there, and we'll get you a good deal. Michael says, I tried to start with you last live stream. Haven't heard the price. The tech took the... did they not give you the price? Michael, they should have given you the price when you talked to them. I believe we... you should have definitely asked for the price because it should be on your quote. So, Michael, I would say call that number back and have them verify for you. I'm not sure. You should make sure that when you guys are talking to the text that they're telling you guys your prices. If you guys are still in here, just ask anything in the chat. We'll continue to go through it. I'm trying to go through everyone's text messages, so if you guys are hitting me up, I'm trying to hit you guys back up. If you guys are just calling just to check to see what the YouTube live pricing is, I gotta let you guys know that these offers are not going to be available again to you guys tomorrow or later on in the week. So if you're calling in just to check in, what's happening is that you're putting your phone number with our system and letting us know that you checked in for the YouTube live pricing but didn't want the YouTube live pricing. That's why I always tell you guys on the live, you gotta write in the thing, you gotta write in the text message that you want the unit. If you're just checking and then later on you're going to come back, you're not going to get that offer. The system that is created here has a limited time and a limited quantities of how we're able to give out these YouTube live deals. So if you guys are just trying to see what the good price is, it's not beneficial to do this to you, especially if you're thinking like, I'm going to get this later, because your phone number is now registered with the YouTube live phone number. So by doing that, you basically registered in and said you basically opted out of the deal. So by texting in just to get like a kick out of knowing the price, you're only really kind of affecting your ability to ever get that price. That's why I continuously say, if you're looking to get a battery pack today, and you're trying to get the best deal available, text this number. Text it. If you text this number and today you're looking to get the battery pack, today they're going to give you the best price. I cannot let you get a quote and then you hold on to it for a week. The system will not allow it. The quote will just expire out. So as I'm texting you guys, I'm seeing you guys' questions. I'm seeing what you guys are asking me and want. And I know you guys just want to get the price and just see what's up with it. But this YouTube Live is designed to, one, answer everyone's questions if we can, and then two, offer the interested buyers the best deals possible. We only have 12 G4s left, even though we just got them in stock. We sold out 90% of the inventory before it even got here. So if you're looking to get some before the summer, you have to try to let us know that you need it now. Because I'm going to be out 12 units. I'll be out by Tuesday. Tuesday, I'll be all out of product again. And it'll go back to back order. And I will, like I said, by the time the next batch gets here, the price will go up again. So if you guys are going to hit me up later and be like, but I wanted that price, you can go back to this live and see that I showed you guys that the price was going to go up. I also said that in the last live, and I said that in the live before. I've been saying it for about a month and a half. We've been sending you guys emails that pricing of all product is going to go up, not just with us, but everywhere in the United States. Everything will go up in price. Your electricity prices will go up. Your electric vehicles will go up. We're not kidding when we say this, right? Like back in 2023, I think I sent out an email letting everybody know that in 2024, SoCal Edison was going to reduce their rebates. And everybody ignored that. And then that summer of 2024, everybody started calling me saying, why did their solar company rip them off? I then asked them why they thought they were being ripped off. And they said, well, I used to get a bunch more in rebates and now I don't. And I say, oh, it's because you weren't aware that SoCal Edison basically reduced their rebates by 75%. So when we're telling you guys this stuff, it's because it's what we're seeing in the market, right? We are marketing to you guys, so we do market research every single day. We can see where people are having power outage problems. We can see where the electricity is the highest. We can see what the average cost of electricity is for people, what the average use of electricity is for people. And like I said, the chairman already figured out, he has a formula. It's not even like he just made it up. He has a formula that shows you over the next 5 to 10 years, your electricity usage will go up to about you will need about 200 kilowatt hour battery pack in about 5 to 10 years. You will need, well, to completely offload, but you will be using at least 200 kilowatts monthly or daily. Daily. So as you get EVs, as all appliances become electric, now I will say this, technology does get better, so over time it can become more efficient and not use up as much energy. But if it's not going to use up that much energy, that only goes to show that the electricity company is only going to charge you more money. It's what happened with the EVs. If you guys see what happened in California, for those of you who aren't in California, you will see that they came out with a report saying that because of the new EV surge, the gas tax was reduced pretty substantially. So because California wanted to get more revenue from the gas tax, and now they can't because they push so many electric vehicles, they're now going to put an electric vehicle tax for EV charging to be able to come up with the difference that they lost in the gas tax in California. So like I continuously tell you guys, the pricing of product and services and utilities will increase. Your electricity usage will increase. The chairman has built a formula that proves all Americans will use more energy over the next 5 to 10 years, and they will not be able to sustain their utility bills with the rising rate of electricity.
And that doesn't even get started on the grid. The grid is expected to be under so much strain over the next few years. There's so many projections, and you can look it up for yourself, but there are so many projections talking about expected mass outages in the United States between now and 2030. Where they're talking about having whole states down, no power for days at a time, and it's crazy. I mean, you can look it up. There's so many projections of like, we know this is coming, but we don't know what to do about it. Best thing you can do about it at home, if you can, is prepare, just like anything else. How's the stream been going? I'm probably going to be popping out of here in a few minutes to go start my B-Day weekend, but I didn't want to do so without checking on the stream one more time.
Yeah, it's cool.
Good?
Yep.
Got viewers coming in nicely. I see the chat's been pretty active. Age 26 or 28. Very, very, very close. Since I'm towards the end of the day, I am turning 29 tomorrow. My last year in my 30s. So if anybody said, or last year before my 30s, last year in my 20s. So if anybody has anything that you think I should really do while I'm still in my 20s, let me know. I'll get it done this year. Can extra MPPT charge be added to the Walrus G4?
You could swap out your MPPT on the G3, G4 if you choose to. You're gonna have to get your own. It can be done. It has been done. It might potentially void the warranty though, so it's gonna be a DIY activity, and it's based on your own information. We don't teach people how to do this, but it has been done. We've done it here. Fred's done it, by the way. Fred's done it, and other users have done it too. So it's got to be one of those things. If you're savvy with it and you know how to do this kind of thing,
That
yeah,
sounds
you can
like
do
a fun
it.
DIY.
You can do it.
Scott says congratulations and that I should live and pay off debt. Oof, you're telling me.
Nick is rich. He has no debt.
I'm just swimming in battery bucks. No, I'm not. I appreciate the well wishes though. Thank you for that. All I want for my birthday is battery questions on this live stream so that I can answer them, and so that after I leave, Brian is stuck here until 8 p.m. answering them for you guys. Must be single. Nope, I am married. If you guys are just joining the stream, welcome. My name's Nick, this is Brian. We're streaming to you live from BatterEVO for just a little bit longer. We've been answering your battery questions. Really, Brian's been holding it down this time, but we've been going for a little bit over 2 hours here now, maybe just under actually. You know, it's Friday night. He's got to go home at some point, so if we don't see the questions come in, we'll probably wrap it up. But as long as you guys keep asking us questions, we'll keep answering. We are here to help you guys on your green energy journeys. And while we're live, I know a lot of you guys have texted in. I can see Brian responding to your text messages right now. But if you haven't already, numbers right there, 747-282-0538. That number, text it in, let us know what you want. We'll give you a price that's lower than any of the sales prices on the website for any of our products. It's a secret way to get the best price on a BatterEVO battery. So hit us up while you still can. Those deals go away the second this live stream ends. Michael says happy birthday. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
If you love like mine, join the electric joyride. The Rhino's on point like 15.5 kilowatts in short time.
How is the best way to determine our kilowatt needs? Look at energy bills and consumption. Yeah, so you'll look at your energy bill. You can actually see how many kilowatt hours of power your house is using. You can calculate that, or sometimes it's just listed depending on your utility provider, and you can use that out to average how much you use a day. And that is how you'd know if the capacity storage on the Walrus or the Rhino or whichever one is enough capacity to handle your daily use. Most houses will be covered with a product like the G4 because it's a pretty high capacity system for what it is. Now, it really depends. If you have an EV charger in your home, for example, then you're going to be going way above the average. So it really depends on what you're using, how you're using it, and I'd recommend going into that utility bill like you suggested. That's exactly what you need to do. Michael says, if I have to use the generator for my power, it costs me $20 a day or $600 a month. That's why I wanted to get this settled. Yeah, and you don't have to throw that generator away. You can use a generator to power up a Walrus, and then that Walrus's charge will power your house for longer than the generator would with the same amount of gas. So, in a pinch.
That's the unit I need. 48 feet, 48 feet, 48 feet. Look at it, safe green. 48 feet, 48 feet, 48 feet. Stampede, stampede.
I have a heat and cool pump. Yeah, those pumps will run up your spending on electricity a little bit. Things like pool heaters. The AC is usually the biggest one for people, especially when it kicks on. A lot of power. That's why we recommend a soft start.
I'm seeing people's questions coming through here. I know some of you guys want to talk to someone on the phone. When you text the number on the screen, we can get you the YouTube Live deals. But if you just need to talk to somebody, call the phone number on the website. Maybe we should put like the other phone up here too again. Like
It's a good idea. Yeah, I'll
but
set that up. Before
that
the next
number,
one.
people, you can talk to somebody over the phone there. This number here, you're not going to get to anybody over the phone. This is just a text to get the deal. Now, if you call them over there and tell them you're doing YouTube Live pricing, they're going to give you a deal too. They can give you a deal while the YouTube Live is on. To get the best deal, I'm serious when I say this. To get the best deal, you gotta text the number below. So you can call, you can email, you can send a hawk with a letter out to his foot. The way to get the best deal is you must text this number. Now, I know some of you guys have really technical questions. We can answer them over text. It just gets a little flooded over while we're doing the YouTube Live. Even after we cut the YouTube Live, if you've already texted, you can get the deal. But you have to use the phone number below to get the deal. Now, you can call. They'll also hook you up. They're going to hook you up. But they don't give out the Nick Florida Man discount over there, by the way.
No, they do not.
Right? But if you need that technical support and you need to have someone on the phone, just call them, tell them you're watching the YouTube Live, and ask them your questions. They can answer them. Because I see some of you guys texting me saying, like, just call me, but it's like, I can't, I'm on live.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, that line below is not designated for calling anyway. So it's a text line to offer the deal. And again, earlier, like I said earlier, if you're just calling in or just texting in just to see what the price is, it's probably in your best interest to not do so, because once the system reads that you have texted us for YouTube Live pricing and then didn't take the deal that day, you basically opted out of YouTube Live pricing. So if you call me back next week and say, well, Brian said last week that I could get this much off, it doesn't matter. The system, like the literal system that we use, won't allow it. So we can't give you the deal later. So if you're just calling in just to see what the price is, to hopefully maybe it'll convince you, that's not the best thing to do. The whole point of the Walrus product is it's the best price per kilowatt hour in the market. It's one of the largest battery packs for the home that you can buy at that price point. If you've already done your research and you kind of understand what you want and what you might need, text the number on the screen and we will get you the best price possible if you're ready to buy today. If you're not ready to buy today and you just have questions, ask them in the chat and we'll answer your questions. You can call the number at the website and then maybe they'll answer your questions. But for best deals, you text the number. That's all we can do. I can't do anything else. Even the Nick Florida Man discount can't go past that.
It can only go so far.
I can only go so far.
James says, can I charge G3 or G4 with a non-inverter generator? Yes, you can. There's a video on our YouTube channel where we actually show how to do it. You just need a simple adapter for that 50 amp extension cable to your generator cable. You'll plug it right into the 50 amp NEMA in on the Walrus the same way you would if you were charging it up with the grid from your main panel. And with that, I think I'm gonna go start my weekend. Guys, thanks for joining us all. Thank you all very much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you spending your Friday afternoon with us. I see questions still coming. I see texts still coming. So keep my friend Brian here hostage for this Friday night as long as you can.
Later, Nick. Happy birthday.
All right. Thanks, dude. Have a good weekend. I'll see you Monday.
Yep. All right, guys. I guess we'll go back to bantering about what were we talking about? Okay, so can I charge the G3 or G4 with a non-inverter generator? I'm not sure what a non-inverter generator is, but yes. You can charge the G3s and G4s and Komodo. Any Walrus product that we offer, plus Komodo, can be charged with a 220 volt minimum 5 kW generator, gas or diesel. We have a video on our YouTube that shows how to do it. It can be done, James. It can be done for sure. Jerome says, so can a 120 volt generator charge? Okay. So Jerome, the thing with the 120 volt generator is that, like, technically yes, but we experienced this in the past where they tried it. Like the one you see here behind me, I think that was 220 volts, but it's recommended to use a 220 volt. I think what happens with those 120 volt generators is that sometimes, like, the output just isn't strong enough and it can't really read it too well. It's not to say that it won't charge it, but sometimes it kind of just shows on the display that it's not charging. So in the past with the Arctics, I believe it was, people were trying to charge them with the generators, with those 120 volt ones, and then it wouldn't, like, I guess the screen or the charging wouldn't read the charge, and so it almost seemed as if it wasn't charging it. So we always recommend to use a 220 volt or a minimum of 10 kW generator. If you have a 220 volts, you can get away with a 5 kW generator. But if it's a 120 volt, I would say try to get the stronger generator if you can. I know it seems or sounds a little inconvenient hearing it this way, but it's just what we experienced with our other users. We plugged in a 120 volt generator. We were able to get the charge from it, but then we did see that it kind of seemed that the Arctics weren't really picking up the read of the charge, but the battery pack was gaining more energy. So we must say that you should use a 220 volt generator and at least 10 kW. 10 kW is going to get you the most efficient charge. You can get away with 5 kW 220 volt generator, but here it is. Refrigerators are my biggest drain. I house other mostly homeless women and children to make sure I get the best price with Anthony. Yeah, you're going to get the best price with whoever you talk to, Michael, because you're in the live chat. Let them know what you're trying to do, and they should hook you up. It's all puts a little bit dirtier since it's all puts a little bit dirtier sine wave AC versus inverter. Oh, okay. It's all puts a little bit dirtier. I think you should be okay, James. As long as you follow the processes in that YouTube video that we did. We just hooked up we did a 30 amp plug into the generator, and then the opposite end had a 50 amp extension. So it goes 30 amp to 50 amp. And then we just plugged the 50 amp cable included with the Walruses to the generator, and then that plugs into the battery pack, and then that charges it from the generator. I'm not really sure what a non-inverter generator is, but you can charge with a gas or diesel generator. That's for sure. It seems kind of like the view count is dropping off. Chat rate is dropping off. I'm going to probably log off. I'm going to give a little bit people more time to text in if they want to, or if they need a deal, or if they want to ask a question about the product and want to continue to learn, just ask it in the chat. If the chat dies out, I'm just going to call it quits. But if you're texting in, that's how you're going to get your deal. If I haven't texted you back or no one's texted you back yet, don't worry, I will get to it. I always do. If you texted earlier in the chat and I haven't got back to it, text one more time and say, hi, I'm in the YouTube live or whatever, and it'll come back to the top of the feed. It's just, it gets flooded. As you guys come in and people start texting, it'll flood down, right? So I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I just got to get through the list of people who have texted in for a deal. So, Jerome, how many watts of solar can you hook up to it? I think what I'm going to start doing going forward is maybe I'm going to have a chart here. Maybe instead of having the chat next to me, because I mean, I don't know if it's as necessary to have the chat next to me, considering you guys can see the chat. So I think maybe next YouTube live, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Nick update this section here to have like the primary specs. Because I'm realizing now that like a lot of you guys ask a lot of the same questions. It's not bad. It's not wrong that everybody's asking the same questions, but it seems to be like those are the most common questions users are having, which means that we're probably not properly answering them for you guys. So I'm gonna try to update the website to offer the answers to the questions that are most commonly asked, because we do this YouTube live pretty often. I recognize what questions. And then two, I think on this box here that you see here, I'm going to change this to be like a spec box, at least for the G4. And then it'll just have the solar input and like just general specs that most people are asking about. That way when you land here, you can just see it. And then you can ask alternative questions, or if you're just looking to get the deal, you can just text a number. I think that's probably going to be the most helpful to everybody. So if everybody thinks that that's helpful, let me know in the chat. But maybe instead of the having the chat here, maybe we could just put specs here. And then maybe we'll just put the popular product. We'll just do like the G4, maybe the King Kong 2, or I don't know. We'll figure out how to make this appealing. But let me know in the chat if you think it'd be more helpful for me to have like specs floating on screen versus like what we have now. The whole point of this is to try to like find ways to make it engaging and help you guys. But you know, we've only been doing this for so often. We've only really done a handful of these lives, and every single time Nick's been getting us a better and better setup over time. But still, we're trying to advocate or allocate our resources to the users. So let me know if you guys think that if I put the specs floating on screen here, if it would be more helpful. Maybe even this, like, I don't know if we need this big blue bar up here, and then maybe even down here. I don't know. We got to find a way to make this all more engaging and useful for everybody else. But how many watts of solar? You're going to be able to hook up around 6,000 kilowatts worth of solar to the G3, G4s, to the Walrus products, okay? Now, the thing to consider is the PV inputs. When you're running these things in series, you have a 90 to 230 volt PV input range. So you cannot exceed in series the 230 volt PV range. If you can get tricky with it and run a parallel system, you could potentially get more wattage into the solar, the inverter. But we don't really recommend to go over 6,000. That's why our kit, the kit we sell with the 8 panels, is rated up to 4.4 kilowatts, which is more than enough for the G3 and G4. My question to you, Jerome, becomes how many watts of solar are you looking to hook up into your system, and why do you think you need that much wattage? 6,000 watt. Oh no, sorry. Okay, yeah. So Jerome, how many watts of solar are you looking to hook up, and why? I think a lot of people think they need a ton of solar for their home. Now, gonna find you don't need that much solar coming into your home, especially if you have a battery bank to store it. Once you have a battery bank, you create a buffer, and you don't need like all of that solar. Like, even if you're bringing in like 30,000 watts of solar, you're not using it. Even if you're bringing in, let's say, 5,000 watts of solar, you're not really using it, especially if you're not even home. If you're not home and you're at work, you're not using any energy. You're probably using up max 200 watts for your refrigerator, and that's it. Even when you come home and you turn on your TVs, you're probably at max using about 2,000 watts worth of power. And even then, if you did that at nighttime after work, there's no sun anyway. So trying to install these huge solar systems might be just putting more strain on you guys than what you need. I see it all the time. People want to install 30 panels, 60 panels, 25 panels to the roof, but you would eventually find that you're not really using that much power. You're just not. Now, if you have central AC systems and all of that, regardless, the solar isn't what's going to make the difference. What's going to make the difference is how much battery pack power you have and how much how much power output you have, which would be the inverter. So you'd be more concerned about how strong your inverter is versus how much solar you can bring in. So if you're going to bring in, let's say you want to do like 15,000 watts of solar at a time, first, the G3, G4s won't even take it. Even if you could get an inverter that could do it, the battery pack is 23 kilowatt hours anyway. So you'd charge in like an hour and a half, and then you'd still have just an extreme excess of solar. I don't know. It's just something to consider. If you guys are trying to find out how much solar you guys really need, check your utility company. The bill. The bill will show you how much wattage you're using. And then maybe that's what I should put back here. Maybe instead of having this, we can just screen share or something so I can just show you guys. But the energy you're using is on your utility bill. You got to divide that number by 28 days, which would give you a monthly average across the year, and it'll tell you how much you're using daily. From that number that you get, that's how much backup power you need. It would be recommended to get 2 to 3 times the amount of battery pack power you're using daily if you experience power outages often for a long time. Because if, let's say, you're using 20 kilowatts daily, the G3, G4 will deplete in one day in a power outage if you continue to use all of your appliances at the same rate. That's why for power outages, we recommend shut off all the breakers you're not using. You only want to keep the necessities, which should be the refrigerator and maybe 1 or 2 lights, maybe bathroom and kitchen light, and that's about it. You don't want to be like, oh, power outage, let me turn everything on, right? So you're not going to do laundry during a power outage. You're not going to turn on your electric boiler during a 3-week power outage, right? You want to conserve your energy. Now, pairing the walruses with PV solar panels is actually the best solution. Even if you have grid-tied panels, it doesn't matter. If you can allocate at least 4 panels to your roof that are PV, that's off-grid energy. You are your own power plant at this point. You will not need to worry or to rely or depend on the grid. Now, if you still want a ton of solar, that's as much information as I could provide to you. If you still want 32,000 panels on your roof, go for it. You're just going to need more battery packs to store up all that energy, which we have. We have King Kong 2s, we have Pacific Pro. Those are large battery banks. You can utilize those large solar systems to store all that energy. XD Zone is back. I think we were in here last time. Can't remember if we got your battery pack or not. Scott Wetzel is in here. He said yes, but I don't remember what it was for. But he does say he has a heat and cool pump. Those systems sometimes take up a good amount of energy. G4 should be able to do it, Scott. If you want that product, text us. XD Zone says 240 volt gen, 8,000 watts of solar. Sorry, 6,000 watt. That should work fine. 240 volt Jenny should work fine. XD Zone. I think I have seen 4 live streams, 2 live and 2 older ones on YouTube. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for watching the lives. We've been doing it since 2024, late 2024. We just started doing it again in 2025. So thanks for joining the lives. Inverter gen or regular generator? I think XD Zone, they just asked that above. I wasn't really sure what they meant by that. Somebody said non-inverter generator. I didn't really know what that meant, but my short answer is going to be like, yes, it's going to work. It's designed to work as long as you plug it in properly and you can provide enough power to charge the battery pack. But that part did confuse me a little bit earlier. You guys are still in the chat, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to cut this out. I think I'm ready to cut this. Paul says, hi, I'm here. Thank you, Paul. Are you trying to power a house? Are you trying to power anything? One question for you. Sure, Paul, go for it. My inverter for charging my battery for a Sumo backup. Okay, what is this? I'm not sure. For a Sumo backup, I'm not sure what you mean. Can you please explain a little bit more, Paul, before I cut out this live chat? You could probably potentially be the last question for the day. My inverter for charging, okay, the current dray for starting the motor is not long high enough to enable the inverter. Oh, your current D-ray, like your solar array, is not a sump? I'm a little confused here, Paul. The current, I would assume that you're trying to say array for starting the motor is not long high enough to enable the inverter. Paul, I'm not really sure what you're asking me here. Please try to rephrase your question. Too long to type. You could try it out. I mean, if you just try your best. I'm not really sure what you mean by this, or just try rephrasing it in a different way. I'm not really sure what you mean.
whole house, everything on the go, living off the grid. It's such a thrill, going green for the planet. It's a fantastic deal. Time of use settings save you more cash. Buy a walrus and your family will stash. We've got the Arctic, plug it in, start the spark. Fast shipping to your door, we're hitting the mark. Roll it on your rug, power your pad. Energy is wealth, and it's time to grab. Turn your panels into gold, every angle shining gold. Power outage, don't fear with your walrus. Keep it clear, it's so clear. All our systems cheer. Batteries top tier, get a walrus and you'll stay here. Solar power flowing, never out of juice. Eco-friendly living, that's the truth. Reduce your footprint, live clean and smart. With the walrus, you'll do the part.
Okay, all right.
Power your tools, run your home smoothly, break all the rules. Reliable and strong.
Oh, I see. Okay, Paul. So I think what you're telling me is that you're using the generator to power the battery pack. We'll communicate via text. Yeah, okay, Scott, if you're gonna head out, that's fine. As long as you texted us, that's great. If I didn't get back to you just yet, just text me one more time. But now I know you're in here, and we can get you a good deal. Paul, so it kind of seems like, if I'm understanding this correctly, it seems like, are you using our product now? Paul, do you have a Walrus product now, or are you just using something else and you're trying to find something to replace this? Because it seems like you're using a generator. That uses a lot of power. No, sorry. You have a generator. You have a... It's on standby. Yes, the G4 can start generator. It has a generator communication port. So there's generator communication port to start up the G4. To start up your generator when the battery's low. But you could run it on idle. I don't think it's gonna crank it. Just by the way, I don't think it's gonna crank the generator, but it just depends on the generator. If you have older style gen where you got to crank, it might not do it. If you got a communication port, you should be able to do it. Not a Walrus, one of your older battery arrays. Okay, Paul, so if in this situation, I'm not sure which battery packs you might be referencing to, so I'm not really sure how to help you here. I think in this situation, it's not a gen, it's grid tied. Okay, so you're using one of our old battery packs. I'm not sure which one. And you're saying there that the batteries will be fully charged, but then the generator, you don't want it to run anymore. I need to wait to lower passive use, but still enable the inverter to come in when water levels are high. I'm not sure what system you're using, Paul. I would think for this situation, go to the website, the number up on the website. You should call that number and see how they can help you. I'm sorry, Paul. I don't mean to just throw your question out the window. I just don't know how to answer it. I'm not sure what product you're referencing to, and then I'm not sure how to help you here, because you're saying you want the inverter to come on when the water levels are high for the water pump, right? My inverter charging my battery. I'm reading this a couple of times, but I think I'm just not understanding. I apologize. But it seems to me like you have our battery packs. You're using it to back up. The current Dre motor is not high enough to enable the inverter. Which inverter are you using? And then the current Dre for starting the motor is not high enough to enable the inverter. Too long to have the same inverter used to charge your batteries. Uses a lot of power, 24/7, 0.55 watts. It's a lot for 24 hours. It just sits there in standby as the batteries are fully charged. I need to wait to lower passive use, but still enable the inverter to come in when water level's high. I think, yeah, it's a little confusing, Paul. I think what you're trying to do is just like, when the batteries are fully charged, you don't want the generator to be running. But you're also saying that the motor isn't strong enough to enable the inverter. So the DC needs to be converted to AC to run the AC amp. How long ago did you buy these batteries, Paul? Do you know what the name of these batteries are? The inverter is a pass-through inverter. Okay, gotcha. But the inverter is not strong enough to kick on the motors of the thing you described. I think with the 4.5 horsepower. I think is what you're saying. I don't want the inverter running all the time when not needed. Pulls 55 watts. Got it. I'm not sure which inverter you're talking about. I'm not sure which one you have. Is it the white one we used to sell, maybe? I'm not sure which inverter. So you're saying, you just don't want it to run when you don't need it. It's 400 watt. It's fine. It's 400 watt. I don't need the inverter running all the time. I would think you'd need to program it to be off when not needed, Paul. Ames. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Paul, which one the Ames ones is. I would say call the number at the website, Paul. I'm sorry I can't help you with this one. This one's a little tricky for me. I don't really know how to answer it. You might have to program it to not be on when not needed, is my best bet. But I'm not sure if that product that you're describing can. I know the Walrus can, but I'm not sure that one can. Alright guys, I think that the view count has dropped off far enough. I'm gonna go ahead and just kill the feed. Sorry about that again, Paul. I wish I could help you on this one. I would say call, they'll help you out. They'll help you out for sure. I just don't have the answer. But the engineers and the CS team will have the answers for you. I just don't know what the answer is. If you guys have texted me and you guys were looking to get the deal, text me one more time so that it goes to the top of the feed. I'll answer all your questions. I'll get you a good deal today. Remember, if you try to call back tomorrow and try to get the deal that was offered today, it will not be available. I have to keep repeating this because everybody keeps texting me days afterward. So text in when you're ready. When you're ready to buy a product, text in the number. If you're not ready just yet, just ask in the chat and we'll answer your questions. And once you build up once you're ready, text in for the best deal. Otherwise, we're just gonna tell you can't do it. And I don't want to say that. The whole point of the YouTube Live is to give everybody the best deals possible. That's why me and Nick created it. It's basically a trick to get around the higher-ups and the supervisors because they're always telling us don't give out good deals. Well, they're not saying don't give out good deals. They just don't want to give out the deals we're giving out on their side. So we basically made this YouTube Live so that we could basically let you guys know that we're in here, have you guys ask questions and create a community around off-grid. You know, a lot of you guys have came back to these YouTube Lives and have met each other and have made friends in here. So, you know, you guys should take the opportunity to talk to each other. A lot of the people inside the chat are much more similar to you than you think. They have the same type of problem and they have the same type of product that they're trying to use to solve that problem. So over time, you guys are the community, right? So like I said, you guys are savvy for getting in here and wanting to go off-grid. So congratulations for that. As you go down your off-grid journey, you can always use a BatterEVO product to get the best price per kilowatt hour. You can get the biggest battery banks for the best prices. We have American support here. We have American facilities here that are shipping out the product, testing out the products, putting the batteries in the products. And we also offer a 10-year warranty. So there's a lot of reasons why you might want this product. And we just made this as kind of a joke to try to give people good deals. And now it just kind of seems like it does really help. So we'll continue to do it if it does help you guys get good deals. We're trying our best to get everybody the best deals we possibly can. But you guys have to text the number on the screen. There's no other way around it. There's not a discount code I can give you. If you call in, they're probably not going to give you the same deal we're going to give you. They're still going to help you and they're still going to hook you up. But I'm telling you that the best deal is at that phone number. You got to text that number. Okay, XD Zone. I think they might have texted you your discount. If not, just text the number one more time, XD Zone. Say, hey, this is XD Zone, and I'll see your text and I'll send you your quote. I'll usually text it to you. So the way to get it is through the text. You're not going to receive the invoice in your email. You're going to receive it on your phone. And then from there, you just you could check out. All right, so I'm going to log off. XD Zone, text the number. I will see it, and I will get you your quote, okay? How does the warranty work if you don't keep it in stock? The warranty works for any unit once it's been sold to you. It'll be fine. The way that it'll most likely work, all of our products are in stock. The G3s, G4s will probably be in stock for a very long time. You can warranty the batteries. It's no problem. If you call back and need an update from your battery pack or whatever, we can replace the battery cells. We can replace the battery packs. We can give you another battery if you need it. So there's really not too much worry for us. The reason why we give the 10-year warranty is because we know these battery packs were built to last. We assume that they will last a lot longer than 10 years. So it's BatterEVO warranties the product, right? So replacement parts, they will send you replacement parts if you need them. Yeah. So if they didn't think they could handle the warranty for 10 years, they wouldn't offer it, is my assumption to this. But the battery packs, like I said, it's very similar stuff that you'll see inside EVs, and those EVs have warranties, and those EVs were designed to last quite a bit of years. So that's that for the warranty. I'm gonna log off. Happy birthday to Nick, even though he's not here. But I'm logging off. Text me. I will respond with your invoices if you want the